Maybe someone's reacted to that news, I don't know, or maybe it just fell through.
No.
But it sounds to me that the move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight. But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez, because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Because in that fight, you've got two big stars.
Yeah.
You know, in the other fight, you've got two great fighters and one big star.
If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him.
Canelo Alvarez's alleged cancellation of their highly awaited showdown has angered Terence Crawford. Canelo and Crawford were in the midst of negotiations with Ring magazine, which first reported that an agreement had been reached for a highly anticipated fight in Nevada this autumn. However, the same public now claims that the arrangement has fallen through, since neither party is happy with the terms. In a startling turn of events, Ring magazine announced that the scheduled fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez was no longer going to take place. Jake Paul, a YouTuber who turned boxer, is receiving a lot of criticism for the fight's sudden ending. Peep Games announced on X that Saul was officially #1. Canelo Alvarez dodged pound for pound. Crawford, Terence Bud many fans believe.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna rest and talk with my team. And like I say, everybody asking for everything. But and I always did. I always fight with everybody. You asking, so but right now I'm in the position I can ask him to. So I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens next.
That Canelo's alleged practice session with the social media celebrity was a major factor in the fight's derailment. Canelo is now the undisputed biggest coward in boxing history and the biggest duck of all time. Some believe that Canelo's willingness to entertain Jake Paul has been a major factor in derailing negotiations for the highly anticipated super middleweight title. Turkey Alec, the financial force behind securing Canelo and Crawford, has been vocal about his disapproval of Jake Paul's presence in boxing as the mastermind of Riyadh season matchups. He has repeatedly expressed his belief that YouTubers entering the ring are undermining the integrity of the sport. Fans of Clash urged Canelo to take on IBF champion William Skull in an attempt to regain his undisputed super middleweight title. A showdown would have resulted in two future Hall of Famers competing for all 4 titles, which is very different from the spectacle of a man whose last victory was over a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Although the reason behind Canelo versus Crawford's cancellation is yet unknown. Canelo Lesnar posted on X that many insiders believe a straightforward response may have started the argument following Bud's harsh remarks about Teofimo Lopez.
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Madridov, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Madrimov was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the. What was his first division? Lightweight, then he unified the junior, then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right.
According to a lengthy statement from a former Disney child star who previously fought Israel Madrimov in the stadium, Canelo demands that Teofimo Lopez be Crawford's next opponent before himself. Though there isn't any proof that talks have ever taken place, the internet has been ablaze with rumors of a potential confrontation between Canelo and Paul. Although World Boxing News has avoided the rumor mill, things changed when the Crawford fight was moved from T-Mobile Arena to the Raiders' home field. In the modern world, anything is possible, but it is extremely unlikely that a 4-division champion with WBO, WBA, and WBC titles would face Paul at this point in his career. What would Canelo stand to gain from this kind of battle? And would there even be a crowd for a loss? Vegas, a city that prides itself on presenting boxing at the highest level, is unlikely. But in this digital age, even casually testing the waters for a fight can have real-world repercussions, frequently to the detriment of all parties involved.
And are you, David, that you will fight the winner of Better Be a Bibble?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. To be honest, the only thing that I'm thinking about is that if Bivol wins this fight, like what they would have to do a rubber match. You know what I mean? And like I'm just like thinking, who am I to say that they can't fight another fight because they've fought two great fights. So that's basically the only thing I'm thinking of right now. But I would, if that's something like that would happen, I think I wouldn't fight until they get that done with, and then I would move into that fight after they have a trilogy. So that's really the only thing I'm thinking right now.
But that would be a long break for you. Like, let's say conceivably they fight again October. Who knows?
The highly anticipated showdown between two of boxing's biggest stars had fans buzzing with excitement. But the latest news has sparked a wave of backlash from the boxing community, with many expressing their dissatisfaction over how the situation unfolded. One fan expressed their frustration, criticizing how such fights are frequently handled poorly, saying that boxing is a joke sometimes, prematurely announcing agreements without paperwork signed. This comment reflects a growing sentiment among boxing enthusiasts who are fed up with false promises and premature announcements that never turn into actual bouts. Another fan bemoaned the emotional roller coaster of being excited only to be disappointed, adding that it is understandable given how infrequent it is to see undisputed champions from various weight classes square off in the ring. Frustration quickly replaced the hope of witnessing history. Some fans continued the discussion by bringing up Terence Crawford's tremendous fan base from fictitious fights. According to one fan, there is a lot of support for Crawford to win the bout. Canelo Crawford's latest resounding wins solidified his position as the greatest fighter in terms of strength. While some people think he may have posed a real threat to Canelo, others conjectured that the bout might have been derailed due to contractual issues. A mandatory fight with David Novowitz, the super middleweight contender known for his aggressive style and relentless pressure, could present serious risks for either fighter, adding another level of complexity to the possible deal. Canelo reportedly saw the fine print, and the contract stated that the winner had to fight Novowitz. While some fans think the cancellation may have been a gift in disguise for Crawford, not everyone saw it as terrible news. Although Crawford is unquestionably a generational talent, facing an experienced super middleweight like Canelo at 168 pounds would have been a monumental challenge. He avoided a bullet with that Canelo fight cancellation. Dude, you can't cut to 168, and taking that cash grab would have just tarnished his legacy. Some believe that maintaining Crawford's original weight class could protect his legacy because the danger was much greater than the reward. This isn't the news boxing fans were hoping for, especially after such a long and eager wait. For a brief moment, it seemed like anticipation would finally give way to reality. Reports had suggested that negotiations for the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford mega fight were actually moving forward, but it now appears that the historic bout between these two pound-for-pound legends may not happen. The reasons for the fight's cancellation have not yet been confirmed, but Crawford is poised to become a legendary three-division champion. Undisputed champion Alvarez could start a string of unification fights without him, but that would expose him. When Toaf faced Sebastian Fundora, with whom he had previously spoken in an online sparring match, there were many criticisms. Some fans admired Crawford's technical mastery, while others questioned whether Alvarez would dare to fight because he was afraid of losing for the third time in his career. Others are still enthralled with Alvarez's superb boxing, especially his accurate body blows and strong defense. Since there is a rival with equivalent competence in the nearby ranks, the prospect of suffering a career-first defeat is intimidating. What good is it to make a champion move up 2 divisions to compete? In the event that David Benavidez emerges as the undisputed champion of the light heavyweight division, Canelo Alvarez may find it more and more difficult to avoid a meeting. Spectators will have to wait and watch to see what happens. during CU UFC 306 in September, Crawford and Alec took to Instagram Live, where Bud saw the opportunity to challenge Canelo following his victory over Edgar Berlanga. Crawford had spent almost a year championing the fight with both fighters, and they recently met Saudi boxing head Turki Alec in London. An ardent supporter of this highly anticipated clash indicated that the terms were almost finalized, and an official announcement was expected soon. Crawford added, "You tell them that we're going to go for Canelo next." Crawford added, "You heard it from him, so just put me in the game." Alec remarked, "Yes, let's go, Canelo. Come on, we're ready." The idea of a fight between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez is undoubtedly intriguing. The reigning unified super middleweight champion going up against a former YouTuber who has no real fights on his record seems almost absurd. But here we are, in a world where the match isn't just a topic of conversation. It's rife with rumors about it actually happening, flooding social media. Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing, but we stay prepared so we don't have to get ready. For now, the fight's actual result is less important than the frenzied atmosphere it has created through rumors alone. In the middle of all the chaos, this demonstrates Jake Paul's unquestionable flair for show. The adult showbiz commentator shared his ideas and provided some insightful insight. As Giz pointed out during a discussion about the rumored showdown, the boxing commentator emphasized how the proposed fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo would dwarf any interest generated by a fight with Jake Paul. The big fight is Terence Crawford versus Canelo, and Canelo is the heavy favorite.
And Terence Crawford, who should be a big star, but the reality is isn't. He's just an unbelievable fighter. So listen, everything can change overnight, as you saw.
Yeah,
so don't rule out Canelo Crawford. But as I'm hearing, Canelo Jake Paul is done, and I get it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Mad old game. Eddie, always a pleasure, mate. Really appreciate the time.
Listen, back up your ideas.
But that's the big fight, so you don't want that fight threatened, explained the YouTuber. Given that Jake Paul is not a threat at all, Canelo Alvarez's fight with him in May is the safest option. And according to Showbiz, a bout with Paul will likely earn more money than the Crawford fight. The popular content creator exclaimed that, no matter how much people criticize the fight, the Mexican star could get a huge bag fighting Jake Paul, because the people are going to show up. The commentator suggested that given Canelo's potential to earn more from a fight with Jake Paul than from a matchup with Crawford, and with minimal risk for the highly anticipated September showdown, it's a fight Canelo would be wise to pursue. The hatred that people have for Jake Paul will bring them to the arena, claims Shiz. He said, "We are in a world where people want to gather to hate. The hate of that fight will make people gather." According to Showbiz, hate speech directed towards the problem child has significantly increased since the Mike Tyson fight. There are some people who will probably see Canelo Alvarez as a superhero for what Jake Paul did to Mike Tyson, proclaimed the YouTuber while defending the rumored fight. Showbiz, the adult isn't the sole boxing insider weighing in on the speculated Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez showdown in a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show MMA.